Hello! Did you know that Belgium, a country often praised for its delicious waffles and world-class chocolates, is quietly becoming the drug capital of Europe? Last year, 110 tons of cocaine were produced, along with other synthetic drugs right in Belgium, highlighting a significant issue of drug production within Europe. In 2020 alone, the Port of Antwerp accounted for 40% of all cocaine seizures in the European Union. By 2021, this number had risen to 90 tons of cocaine, marking a 50% increase compared to 5 years earlier. Each year, the numbers set new records, and clearly, no one wants this trend to continue. While you are enjoying a stroll through the picturesque streets of Brussels, just nearby traffickers are smuggling tons of drugs into the country. But how did Belgium, a country known for its peaceful landscapes and historic architecture, become a hub for one of the world's most dangerous drugs? What is driving this illicit trade, and more importantly, is there anything that can be done to stop it? Located in the northern part of Belgium, Antwerp is a bustling port city known for its rich history and vibrant culture. However, beneath its attractive facade lies a dark reality. Antwerp has emerged as the center of cocaine trafficking in Europe. Once overshadowed by neighboring cities, Antwerp's strategic location and well-developed infrastructure have made it an attractive hub for criminal organizations. Situated along the Scheldt River, the Port of Antwerp is Europe's second-largest port, handling over 12 million containers annually and serving as a gateway for international trade. The port's extensive shipping network and efficient logistics have inadvertently facilitated cocaine traffickers exploiting its advantages. In recent years, the city has become the focal point for drug trafficking with record drug seizures, indicating that the Port of Antwerp accounted for not just 10% or 20%, but 40% of all cocaine seizures in the European Union in 2020. Antwerp's prominent position has been further solidified by its seamless integration into the global supply chain. Legitimate businesses flock to the port for its convenience and accessibility, but inadvertently sharing space with illegal activities. The allure of quick profits and minimal risk has attracted criminal organizations to Antwerp's shores, transforming it into a hub for drug smuggling operations. Criminal organizations from the Western Balkans have targeted Antwerp's vulnerabilities, using sophisticated tactics to evade detection and maximize profits. In a recent case that shook Antwerp, the situation became even more alarming in June 2020 when authorities uncovered a chilling operation hidden within the seemingly innocuous facade of a shipping container. This container, camouflaged among everyday items, concealed a sinister cargo, 2 tons of cocaine. This revelation sent shockwaves through law enforcement, prompting a swift and determined response to unravel the intricate web of criminality behind the operation. The mastermind behind this covert operation was none other than Dritan Rajapi, a notorious figure in the criminal underworld with connections to the Balkans. Known for his ruthlessness and cunning, Rajapi orchestrated a sophisticated network spanning continents with roots tracing back to Albania. Despite being imprisoned in Ecuador in 2014, Rajapi's influence extended far beyond the confines of his cell, as evidenced by his continued control over a highly profitable cocaine empire. As authorities peeled back the layers of deception, they discovered a chain of corruption and complicity extending from the Port of Antwerp to the highest levels of power. Former port executives, drug enforcement officers, and even a lawyer were implicated in this operation, highlighting the extensive influence of organized crime within Belgium's borders. Bananas, a seemingly innocuous fruit, have become a symbol of cocaine smuggling operations in Antwerp. Taking advantage of the perishable nature of bananas, traffickers exploit the urgency of customs clearance to discreetly smuggle drugs past authorities. This demonstrates the traffickers' familiarity with and meticulous preparation for Belgian law. At the heart of this smuggling operation is the allure of enormous financial profits, drawing criminal organizations into the dangerous world of drug trafficking. The economics of smuggling reveal a harsh reality. The profit potential far exceeds the risks, with margins reaching up to 1,500%. The relatively low production costs, compared to the sky-high prices of drugs in the European market, allow traffickers to earn vast sums from each shipment. One participant revealed, "Each trip I make 2,000 euros, all in cash." The profit margins along the supply chain are immense, with the value of the product soaring at each step from production to distribution, filling the pockets of those ready to exploit the global drug trade's loopholes. For many, the enormous sums to be made from this illicit activity are too tempting to resist, driving a cycle of exploitation and violence that shows no signs of abating. In the world of drug smuggling, access to strategic infrastructure is key to success. Antwerp's vast seaport, the second largest in Europe, provides traffickers with a gateway to the lucrative markets of the continent, offering a significant advantage for their illicit operations. The port's network of shipping routes and efficient logistics infrastructure acts as a conduit for smooth drug transportation. Moreover, the port's geographic location further enhances its appeal to criminal organizations, providing direct access to major European population centers from Amsterdam to Paris. Cocaine traffickers take advantage of Antwerp's strategic location to distribute illegal goods with relative ease. Despite numerous efforts to bolster security and crack down on drug trafficking, the enormous volume of cargo passing through the Port of Antwerp presents a significant challenge for law enforcement agencies. As traffickers continue to exploit the port's vulnerabilities, authorities struggle to stem the tide of drugs flowing into Europe. So, what sparked the explosion of this drug trafficking operation in the first place? In the chaotic aftermath of the war in Europe, the Balkans emerged as fertile ground for the rise of organized crime. Balkan mafia gangs born from the ashes of conflict and economic turmoil quickly established themselves as formidable players in the global drug market. Originating from countries such as Albania, Croatia, and Bosnia, these gangs possess a unique blend of resilience, resourcefulness, and entrepreneurial spirit. Faced with limited opportunities in their war-torn homelands, many turn to crime as a means of survival and prosperity. Driven by a relentless pursuit of wealth and power, Balkan mafia gangs leveraged their connections and ingenuity to carve out a niche in the lucrative cocaine trade. From modest beginnings, they rose to prominence by exploiting weaknesses in the global supply chain to expand their criminal enterprises. With a keen understanding of the dynamics of the international drug market, Balkan gangs sought to extend their influence beyond their homeland, establishing intricate supply chains that spanned continents. Leveraging their connections and expertise, they have forged alliances with partners in South America, the epicenter of cocaine production. Through these strategic relationships, Balkan mafia gangs have secured a steady supply of cocaine from countries such as Colombia and Ecuador. Once they had control of the supply, they used their knowledge of shipping routes and logistics to manage the smooth transportation of cocaine from South America to Europe. Antwerp, with its vast port and strategic location, has become a crucial transit point in this complex network. Having established their position in the global cocaine market, the Balkan mafia gangs sought to control the entire supply chain from production to distribution. By commanding every stage, they could maximize profits and minimize risks, thereby consolidating their power and influence in the criminal underworld. Through strategic investments and acquisitions, they have expanded their operations. This vertical integration streamlines their activities, reduces costs, and maintains tight control over the flow of drugs into Central Europe. In the clandestine world of cocaine trafficking, corruption has emerged as a powerful force, infiltrating all levels of society and undermining the pillars of law and order. From low-level officials to high-ranking authorities, the tentacles of corruption extend everywhere, facilitating the operations of criminal organizations. In Belgium, the impact of corruption is particularly severe, as traffickers brazenly bribe port officials and law enforcement personnel to turn a blind eye to their illegal activities. The allure of easy money has proven irresistible to those entrusted with upholding the law, leading to a culture of complicity and impunity. Unfortunately, Belgium is not the only victim of corruption, as it extends beyond its borders, infiltrating governments and institutions across Europe. Traffickers exploit weak governance structures and lax tax oversight to fuel their illicit trade, perpetuating a cycle of corruption that undermines democracy and erodes public trust. However, while bribery is a powerful tool, it is not the only method employed by traffickers. When other methods fail, violence becomes their last resort. From rival gangs to law enforcement agencies, no one is immune from the shadow of violence that looms over cocaine trafficking in Belgium. Reports of turf wars and brutal reprisals highlight the ruthless tactics employed by drug dealers to protect their interests and eliminate competition. Armed with guns and intimidation tactics, they impose their dominance with an iron fist, instilling fear in those who dare to challenge them. Moreover, violence extends beyond the realm of criminal enterprises, spilling over into streets and communities ravaged by cocaine addiction. Innocent bystanders become collateral damage in the relentless pursuit of profit, as traffickers resort to increasingly brazen acts of violence to maintain their grip on the market. In the relentless cat-and-mouse game against cocaine trafficking, law enforcement agencies find themselves locked in a perpetual struggle against formidable and highly adaptable trafficking networks. In Belgium, the fight against smuggling networks is conducted on multiple fronts, with law enforcement agencies carrying out a series of undercover operations to weaken the control of organized crime over the country's drug market. A notable operation took place in June 2020, when Belgian authorities led by the federal police executed a raid on a warehouse just outside the Port of Antwerp. Under the guidance of experienced investigators, the operation uncovered an elaborate cocaine smuggling ring operating from the warehouse. When armed police raided the location, they discovered a range of alarming tools used by criminal organizations, including a torture chamber with a dentist's chair and soundproofing, as well as a fake police uniform store. The audacity of the operation shocked law enforcement circles and highlighted the brazenness of the involved criminals. The operation resulted in the seizure of a large quantity of cocaine and the arrest of several individuals believed to be key members of the smuggling network, including those with ties to the Balkan mafia, further underscoring the influence of organized crime in Belgium's drug market. However, the crackdown did not go unnoticed by the drug mafias operating in Belgium. Following the raid, there were reports of retaliatory actions from criminal elements, including threats against law enforcement officials and acts of violence against rival gangs. The scale and complexity of the issue pose significant challenges as traffickers exploit loopholes and employ increasingly sophisticated methods to smuggle cocaine into the country. Moreover, the transnational nature of cocaine trafficking complicates law enforcement efforts as traffickers exploit loose borders and weak regulatory structures to facilitate their operations. Despite the coordination of Belgian authorities, smuggling networks continue to adapt and innovate, creating ongoing challenges. Despite their best efforts, Belgian law enforcement agencies face considerable limitations in both resources and strategy in combating cocaine smuggling. Limited budgets, staffing shortages, and outdated equipment hinder their ability to disrupt illegal activities and dismantle smuggling networks. Reactive law enforcement strategies often fall short in addressing the root causes of the problem, focusing primarily on intervention and seizure rather than prevention and early intervention. Without adequate resources and support, Belgian authorities struggle to keep pace with the ever-changing tactics of traffickers, leading to a cycle of enforcement failure and missed opportunities. As Belgium faces the significant challenge of curbing cocaine smuggling, proposed solutions emphasize the need to bolster resources and advance technology to support law enforcement efforts. Agencies are calling for increased budgets and staffing to enhance their ability to intercept cocaine shipments and dismantle smuggling networks. With sufficient resources, authorities could invest in modern surveillance equipment, including advanced scanning technology and drones to improve detection capabilities at ports and border crossings. Additionally, investing in training and professional development could equip law enforcement personnel with the skills and expertise needed to effectively combat organized crime. By providing the necessary tools and knowledge to navigate the complex landscape of cocaine trafficking, Belgium can strengthen its defenses against this threat. Recognizing the international nature of cocaine trafficking, Belgium acknowledges the necessity of working closely with international partners to halt the flow of narcotics into the country. By establishing strategic alliances with neighboring countries, as well as major transit and source nations in South America, Belgium can disrupt smuggling networks at their origins and dismantle the infrastructure supporting their operations. Furthermore, collaboration with international organizations like Europol and Interpol can enhance information sharing and capacity building initiatives, strengthening Belgium's ability to combat organized crime on a global scale. For decades, countries around the world have waged an ongoing battle against drugs, employing punitive measures to eradicate drug trafficking and consumption. However, as cocaine smuggling continues to thrive, there is growing recognition of the need to rethink traditional methods and explore alternative strategies, including legalization. The war on drugs has been characterized by aggressive law enforcement tactics, mass incarceration, and punitive drug policies that have disproportionately affected marginalized communities. Despite significant investments in law enforcement efforts, illegal drug trade persists, driven by demand and exacerbated by prohibitive policies. The financial cost of the war is mounting, making a reevaluation of traditional approaches and the exploration of alternative strategies more urgent than ever. Policymakers and experts are increasingly questioning the effectiveness of current measures and are exploring harm reduction-focused approaches that emphasize public health and social justice. Drug legalization represents a shift in drug policy, challenging long-standing assumptions and offering a new framework for addressing the complex challenges posed by drug trafficking and addiction. Proponents argue that it provides a practical solution to issues associated with drug prohibition, including violence, corruption, and organized crime. By regulating and controlling the production, distribution, and consumption of drugs, governments can disrupt criminal control over the drug market and mitigate its negative societal impacts. Legalization also presents an opportunity to redirect resources from law enforcement and incarceration towards prevention, treatment, and harm reduction initiatives. By prioritizing public health over punishment, governments can address the root causes of drug addiction and reduce the societal harms associated with drug use. By bringing drug production and distribution out of the shadows and into the public market, governments can promote transparency, accountability, and consumer safety. While legalization may offer numerous benefits, it is not without its challenges and controversies. Opponents worry that legalization could lead to increased drug use and addiction, undermine public safety, and exacerbate social inequality. There are also concerns about the potential for corporate interests to dominate the legal drug market, prioritizing profit over public health and safety. Additionally, the international legal framework surrounding drug control presents a significant barrier to legalization, with many countries bound by international treaties that prohibit the production, distribution, and use of certain drugs. Any move toward legalization will need to carefully consider these legal obligations and the potential ramifications for international relations and cooperation. How do you feel about this story? Share your thoughts below for others to see. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support me. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.